Alright, like I said, it's how they take the damage. Alright? Now, luckily and unluckily, I am taking and recording these. Slash. I'm definitely timing it somehow. You know, it's not gonna be perfect every time, hopefully not. But hopefully it will be essentially enough that it will be developing ability. But as I wanted to state and say, wait 1 second, just gotta breathe. Alright. As it would be, like, the angling, you know, how they take the damage is mainly how the concept will be, you know. The levels really don't count, but the levels will be shown of how their ranks are, like how their ranks are in that area, okay? Especially when we do leave and we go on route, it will show the levels and all that stuff, but you'll see the highest limit of certain levels when we're in that grassland long enough. And as you'll know from the levels of those type of Pokemon, those were the Pokemon that were ranked on those levels. You know what I mean? Of course, you know, with them being on level 5, if there was a, you know what I mean, Squirtle is on level 5, if there was a level 2 Squirtle. Of course, this Squirtle is more experienced, you know, on ranking. So when, yeah, their battle, of course, happens, of course it's a normal battle between the two type of Pokemon, but this Squirtle is more experienced when he battles, and of course takes better damage. So, of course, every outcome will be different than the others. Some level hires can't take hits either, so of course, you know, depends on how you have them and you raise yours, as I'll explain to new gamers. But as I wanted to get to past all that and all that, I have to say this before we get any further. The beginning is the longest part and process that there is. There's a higher level plank, of course, where the railing is, where the professor and all that's happening. Now, while this is all happening, all that stuff, of course, before and all this is happening, you see the assistant run from the professor when he's like, should I take the research and all that stuff. He hands him his Pokédex and all that, you know. As soon as he grabs the Pokédex, of course, the professor times it, and it goes into drone mode, whatever, okay. They can say it in the Pokédex, like, entering drone mode, to make it cool for people. It's up to y'all. You know, entering Pokemon drone mode. Whichever. That'll end up happening. The assistants. Then, that assistant, he runs back downstairs. He runs down. He's like, everybody, Taz is having a battle. You know what I mean? And then he runs down, like, you know what I mean? He catches some of the assistants and all that. And then he runs downstairs to go get more. So in this instance, you know, the professor's there, but slowly while this is happening, before in the concept, because I said these scenes are lively, okay, trying to make them important, like every scene's important, that's what I'm saying, even if they're repeats or repetitiveness, all of it's important, they're alive, they're lively, they don't stop. So in this instance, while the professor's saying, oh, for Pete's sake, so pushy as always, you know, he says that sentence, you know, there's assistants slowly coming over, you know, it can be in the, you know what I mean, there could be a group of them there right then when he says it, but slowly they're coming over and coming to watch the battle. Now, of course, in the concept of mindfulness, there should be female assistants also, but as I would want to say, to make it more spicy and more interesting, there's like the conceptable ratio, like I mean, there's that, yeah, I mean, there's like 100 assistants that are males, and there's 10 assistants of females, you know, cut the ratio by 10, divided by 10, whatever amount of that you all want to create or actually make of each assistant, okay, that's gonna be a fun playground for the developers to have, as dominoes, okay. But we're going to get to the concept and we're going to get ahead because, of course, I do not want to linger or keep this beginning process going. Of course, this beginning process is long. Now, how I'm doing this and I'm making this, I'm trying to make this so I do not have to redo this beginning process over and over again because that's what I end up doing. I will not lie, though, every time I make it better and better, but I feel like I'll be content on how this beginning intro will be for the rest of it. even if I lose the information for further intents. So, of course, Professor says, we're pushy as always. Yeah, and all it takes is action. That's all it takes. So, of course, each other, like I said. I didn't want to press A just to be sure, if another sentence popped up and spoiled. Of course, it shows. Now it shows out of nowhere. The health bar and all that stuff. Now, of course, when this health bar clicks in and all that stuff, that's when they're practically starting to wake up. Like when they're practically woke and all that stuff. Okay? So, of course, they're practically woke and all that stuff. And they're just looking at us and they're looking at each other. And they're like getting ready and prepared, knowing what's going down. As this conceptual video, I would hope that everybody would understand and admire that the Pokemon are taking our pain of us being gone. Ideally, they take a lot of damage in recall. Especially, as I'll explain in further tense, there's two Pokemon that I know so far in the gen that take super, super harsh attacks. And that's just how they are when you're in that stage. But I'll explain them and explain about them later. Alright? But, as it says, to the trainer that makes the other Pokemon faint by lowering,